Welcome everyone. I'm Into the Hero, today enjoyed by Pink. Say hi, Pink.
Hi.
And this is the Shut Your Mouth Lounge, episode 274. Alex will join us later, hopefully. So, Pink.
Potentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is coming out on your channel?
What is going to come out on my channel? That's a good question. So, last week I said I was going to start uploading a lot of my Universe Mode footage from 2K23. That stuff did go up, and it will continue to be going up this week as well. In addition to the final two parts of the 2K23 quote-unquote live stream that we held on launch day. Because part 1 is up. That went up a day or two ago. And part 2 will be up either... It might be later today, actually. But that will be up on Monday, at least. And then the third part is going to be up on Friday or something.
Nice.
I don't recall. But those will be up sometime this week. So it's going to be a lot of 2K23 and not much else that I'm aware of. I might have some footage of Dead by Daylight going up this week as well, since I've been playing that with Mike recently, but I might not, because I've not been actively recording that stuff, because Mike still has mic issues, which is a very fun sentence. So that should take care of everything on my end regarding what all is going up on my channel.
Alright. But as for me, of course there's the weekly throwaway video. This week is wrestling. Yay. Muda, great Muda, faces his greatest opponent yet. I'll let you figure out who that is. Then, I also have a review coming out on Monday. That's gonna be a thing.
Ooh.
I think I said this last week as well, but I'll repeat it just in case I didn't, I guess. I'm surprised that the note-taking and the different approach to writing scripts, I'm surprised by how that lengthened the video, although it probably shouldn't be. Like, one of the things that I didn't do was I avoided talking about the story too much. Earlier, I mean. I avoided talking about the story too much as to not spoil it. This time I just went, fuck it. And just did a beat by beat recounting of most of the story. I skipped important plot beats, I cut out dialogue so you wouldn't get spoiled on the actual dialogue that's being said. But there were parts, like, you know, I have to show the final boss to talk about the final boss. That's how things work.
Right.
So yeah, like, there's some minor spoilers, there's one major spoiler, but I put a spoiler warning right before that, so it should be fine. Otherwise, the video is fine. I think it would be some of my best work if not for the production issues, such as one session that I call upon a lot in the script getting corrupted, which was great. Oh. I loved that.
Yeah. Always great to have quality content get flushed down the toilet due to technical difficulties.
Yeah. I also want to read one of the notes I took from the game, because the game that I'm gonna be reviewing is Luminous Avenger, Gumball Chronicles Luminous Avenger X. There we go. That's the full title.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah. And this isn't word for word in the review. I did a more dramatized version of it, so I think it's fine if I just read the actual note. But the note is, so what's your reward for beating that challenging boss? Fuck you, you didn't win. And that's a part of the game.
Oh no.
Yeah. And to figure out which boss I'm talking about and what exactly happens, watch my review. Haha, shill. Anyway, the next review might take a while, because for Gunvolt, I took 4 hours of footage, including the hour that got corrupted. I took 4 hours of footage, and that was the entire game. The next game I'm reviewing is a challenge, because it's a game I dislike. And I don't do that a lot. I don't review games I dislike a lot, because, you know, most reviews tend to be negative to begin with.
Right.
but that also means that I'm kind of deficient on actually criticizing games that I dislike, I think, which is partially why I went with this. Another one is that the IP is very much associated with my channel, more or less. So, as much as my channel could be associated with anything, so I went, sure, fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
And I have 5 hours of footage of that game,
Cool.
and I'm about 1/3 in, if I'm even 1/3 in. So yeah, that's gonna be a fun one.
Sounds like it.
But yeah, also for comparison's sake, Gunvolt, the notes are 2 pages. I have one A5 notepad, I guess, that I take the notes in. And
Yeah.
Gunvolt, the entirety of Gunvolt took up 1 page, technically, 2 sides of 1 page.
I see.
These 5 hours
That's
took
a
up.
lot of notes.
These 5 hours, not even the whole game, the 5 hours took up, I want to say 4, maybe 5 pages. 5 sides. So technically 2 pages, 2.5, I guess, whatever. Depends on how you count pages, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it for the videos on my end. Then on the group channel we have Fire Pro on Monday. Then on I can't tell. On Wednesday, I think.
Days.
Yeah, on Wednesday, I believe. Gartic Phone. And then on Friday, Mortal Kombat 11. Also, probably on Tuesday, or not, maybe, I don't know, whatever. So sometime during the week, FGA will happen.
Nice.
It is scheduled to happen. So yeah. So that's it. You get 4 videos, 5 if we can get the birthday special going as well. So you might get a video for every workday.
Nice.
And then really like the only video, like I need to put something up real quick so it can be literally every day of the week, because like I need just one actually little shitty video to come out on Sunday. And I probably won't do it because it's more effort than it's worth, but it would be funny.
Right. Make it short.
Yeah.
YouTube loves shorts.
Yeah. Then, yeah, that's it for the channels. So, Pink, what have you done?
What have I done? Well, basically what I've done is what I said I would have coming out on the channel this week. Played a lot of 2K23, and I played a lot of Dead by Daylight. Obviously sprinkled in a bit of Civ every now and again. I also started watching House. Well, not really started on my own. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm not the one who pursued watching House. I just happened to be in the room at the time when other people were watching House. Because I'm not starting at like the beginning or some specific point that I really enjoy. It just happens to be that, hey, people started watching House. House is on in the living room. I'm in the living room. I'm watching House. Good show. I enjoyed it. Hugh Laurie is a great actor. He carried that show for like, I don't know, 9 seasons or however many it got. And the show was only good for 3.
Yeah.
So that's a true testament to the power of Hugh Laurie.
I mean, that's kind of just like medical dramas or whatever you want to call them. Like House went bad after 3 seasons. Scrubs definitely went bad after like 2. I think Scrubs has like 3 seasons overall, and only 2 of those are actually good.
I saw the what's it called? Grey's Anatomy got renewed for a 20th season. It's like that show has been on since I've been like born or something.
You would think that after 20 seasons they would have figured out Grey's Anatomy already.
Right?
Must be a fucked up guy.
Right? I don't know who this gray person is, but his anatomy is just too complex for humankind to comprehend, I suppose.
No, Pink, that's it. Gray, it's an alien.
Oh! Well, that makes too much sense now.
Blimey. So
Yeah.
aside from you, Lori, breaking into your house while you watched.
Aside from that, I don't think there was anything else I've done this week, unfortunately.
All right. Well, Alex has notified us that he will join us shortly.
I
In the
heard
meantime,
turtly, not shortly.
he will join us shortly. He has become like Mike Myers in Master of Disguise, I think.
Right.
He became,
Is
yeah,
that Mike Myers?
I think so.
No, that was because he wasn't popular or anything before or after. Well, he might have been. I don't know. I don't keep up with Saturday Night Live, but that's Dana Carvey. I want to say.
I don't know.
I'm gonna look this up.
All right. I just
Google.
remember. I just remember the Turtle Club bit.
Right.
But yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you.
Dana
Yeah.
Carvey, SNL legend and impressionist. Uh,
Did he do the Master of Disguise?
yes,
All
Master of
right.
Disguise 2002.
Yeah.
And aside from that, he was in a couple of Wayne's World, which I've never heard of, in 1992 and 1993, and Opportunity Knocks in 1990. I've heard of none
Oh
of
yeah.
these.
Wayne's
Except for
World.
Master of Disguise.
Wayne's World, Pink, is a stoner comedy, I guess. I don't actually know if it's a stoner comedy, but it's a comedy about stoners, definitely. And that's it. It's just Dana Carvey and Keanu Reeves being
Ah,
stoners
ah,
for an hour.
ah.
That's it. I actually don't know
All
if
right.
that. I actually don't know if that's it. I never saw the movies. I've just seen enough clips and heard enough people be like, "Yo, Wayne's World was cool," and then that's all they ever say, and they never say why. But yeah. As for my week, I guess I'll get the long ones out of the way. Kingdom Hearts. I played Kingdom Hearts 2. It might be overtaking Contra as my favorite game. We'll see.
Oh man.
Like, the thing is, I'm still in the good parts of Kingdom Hearts 2. And as I said a while ago, Kingdom Hearts 2 is a game of high highs and low lows. so
Right.
so we'll have to see by the end what I think. But like being in the highs, yeah, it's up there. It's definitely up there. That's Kingdom Hearts. Then Digimon. I watched the last 2 episodes that I didn't watch yet. The series is gonna end today, as in the episode is coming out in about 3 hours. The last episode of this series,
Wow.
and we already have images, and they okay, Pink. So for comparison, this show is ending. Imagine if Pokemon ended, which it did. But imagine if Pokemon ended with Pikachu getting fucking shot, and then the last episode is Ash crying,
Dang.
and that's what it seems like. Because in the last episode that I've seen, which is the penultimate episode, the main Mon was turned into a donut.
A donut?
Yeah,
Okay.
the character has a hole in their chest, the size of a man.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
and usually in anime,
I thought you were like saying he literally turned into a donut. I was like,
no,
that's
it's just actually dead from the looks of it, and And like, in anime, usually people don't die from stuff like this. Like, just think of Goku. And like, Digimon is a shonen. It's not only is it a shonen, it's a series aimed at children. It might have horror themes, but it's still a series aimed at children. I was like, they're gonna resurrect him somehow. They'll figure it out. Like, he'll, power of friendship will give him enough power to come back to life or something. I don't know. Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
Just from the pictures, because they release pictures of the episodes before they release them, and it really doesn't seem like that's gonna be what's happening, and I'm gonna be real sad because I really like this mon. But yeah, like, from what I heard, the Pokemon series ending was just Ash sets off on another adventure. We won't follow him anymore. But like, legitimately, imagine if just Jesse pulled out a gun and shot Pikachu, and the last episode of Pokemon was just Ash crying next to Pikachu's corpse.
Messed up, yo.
Yeah. I mean, they did the inverse with the Pokemon movie, but the Ash came back to life. So not quite the same. So yeah, that's it for Digimon, I think. Then, did I play anything else? But there was the game I'm writing a review on. I can't really talk about it because I'm writing a review on it.
Right.
I'm literally collecting my thoughts. So, then, did I play anything else? I did go back to Dragon's Dogma, and I made a character that's big, so they can actually carry shit. And here's the thing, Pink. Dragon's Dogma was actually like thought out. it was more thought out than I thought it would be. So I was like, well, obviously there's gonna be some drawbacks and some whatchamacallit, some better things, I guess. I don't know, about being a big beef man instead of just being small boy.
Right.
But I didn't expect it to change things as much as it has, because being big beef man means that I can carry pretty much everything that I want on me at all times and not feel it, and still be able to run. But it also means that I can't jump, which you'd think that since my legs are like 3 times the size that they were, and more muscly, that they would be able to jump better, but no.
Interesting.
It's a very weird balancing decision to me, to make it so a character that's heavier can run for longer, but cannot jump as high, whereas a character that's smaller can run for shorter amount of time, but jumps higher. That just doesn't make sense to me.
That's the Luigi logic right there.
Yeah. I also spent some time in the dungeon that W said people love, and I don't get it. It really just strikes me as a thing of, if you like dungeon crawling, you'll like this dungeon. Which, fair. I don't like dungeon crawling.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind being in dungeons, but when it's just a thing of, okay, here's this labyrinth. It's underground. There's no light. It's pitch black. Also, there's a factor of monsters. Also, death. Death does not take damage, no matter how much you hit him. But whenever he looks at you, you die.
Well.
Yeah. The best part is, I've seen death once in this dungeon. That spawns in. It's a script that spawned, mind you. That spawns in the second room in the dungeon. The second room. And you either... Yeah?
I said that's unfortunate.
Yeah. And so you have two choices. Either you try to fight death and die, or you run someplace and hope that death doesn't catch up. But it was really fun because I started running deeper into the dungeon from death. But not all of my my teammates, my party members were fast enough. So my healer just died, and they were the only healer. So that was fun. Because it's not a thing of like it's not a thing like turn-based RPGs where oh the healer died in battle, they'll resurrect. No, the healer is fucking dead. I have to go.
He's gone. He's
Like
done
not
for.
like they're not gone completely, but there's these stones that are spread around the levels, and there's not a lot of them. And if you go to this stone, then you can summon companions. So I just resummoned that healer once I found a stone, but before that I had to go through I wanna say like 10 minutes of dungeon without a healer. So
Yeah.
it also just kind of feels like they balanced this one dungeon for people who played through the game like 30 times because there is a new game plus. So every stats change that you make to yourself carries over. And like if you have just like the Ultraman super horizon that doesn't afraid of anybody, then I can see the dungeon being more fun. But seeing as how I'm on my second playthrough, and that means that I can die very easily. It's not being yeah. Because it seems like the dungeon is balanced around you being super horizon who isn't afraid of anyone. And I am very much not super horizon yet.
Right, right.
All right. Did I play anything else? I don't think so. All right. So I got some of my presents already.
Oh.
Yeah. One of them was strings for my guitar. Because I broke a string on my guitar and kind of made it hard to play.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of myself because I never put strings on a guitar before this, and I just kind of figured it out. And I mean, it's not hard, but it's still like it still looked daunting.
Yeah.
Then I also got a headphone amplifier, which means that I can actually hear the guitar.
Ah.
This also means that I can plug it into the PC and record it.
I see.
So I got this stuff like 4 days ago. And in that 4 days, I've already written a song. And here's the thing.
Nice.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I spent a lot of time a while back, like a year or two ago, going like, I wish that I could, like, I'm writing the lyrics to a song and I have the melodies in my head, but I can't do them because I can't record the guitar and all that. Like, I don't even know how to play it, even if I could, and stuff like that. Then to me, it felt like I was just kind of making excuses, like just being like, oh well, I have a girlfriend, but they're going to a different school. Hey,
Hey,
so W,
what's up?
anything coming out on your channel? We'll go back to what I was talking about after you're done with stuff.
Okay. Uh, I I would definitely expect more Total War Warhammer content. There will definitely be more Chaos Dwarf trailers this week, which I will talk about. On top of that, probably expect Gladius. I was not good at recording Gladius the week before this week. but I did come back and record it, and that game is fun. And
Nice.
I would like to play more of it on recording. Though it's easier to say that whenever I'm having a game that's going really well for me.
Understandable.
Gladius, so Civ and Gladius. Civ, you can get a bad start, but the game takes so fucking long that it doesn't really matter unless you happen to have like a really bad start and you also spawn next to Alexander the Great. Oh,
Right.
well, wrap it up,
Right.
you're done.
Yeah.
You can't recover that and turn that into a culture victory because Alexander is about to perform a fucking in vitro fucking abortion, whatever, on you. You're not getting out of the fucking womb, pal. Gladius, well, Gladius is all about war. There is no such thing as a victory type other than the domination victory. And, you know, if you build correctly, which thankfully the AI rarely does, you can get a pretty serious army fairly early in the game. So the first time I tried to record Gladius, which was like probably 2 or 3 months ago now, I played the Tau, and I just so happened to spawn with a really just wide open plains, neighboring a greenskin player, an orc player, whatever you want to call him, who just got the most wonderful army early in the game, and just hit me with stuff I could not possibly counter. And it was a nightmare, and it was a good thing that those recordings also went wrong, because a good chunk of that is just me going, oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh! Whereas this one, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I haven't seen 2 out of the 4 players. I've seen the Space Marine player. I've seen, like, one of his units. And I just happened to find his one city, because Space Marines are Venice, by the way. They're Space Venice. I just happened to find his one city, and he's not sending... Like, I've got a bunch of dudes camped outside of his city. I'm not actively sieging it. But he's not sending any dudes to get me to fuck off. Like, he seems to just be looking outside of his walls at the massive army camped out there. You know, they got a bonfire set up. They're making fucking s'mores. And he's just looking at it, he's like, you know what, I'm cool with that. They ain't hurting me. I don't know what's going on. Either which way, so yeah, probably this week expect more Gladius and more Total War Warhammer talking. And thingamajigs.
Alright. So yeah, I guess I'll continue. So as I said to Pink, I got some of my presents. One of them was strings to the for the guitar. Another one was a headphone amplifier, which means that I can now record the guitar.
All right.
So yeah, as I also said, you know, a while back, I kept saying that I wanted to, you know, make music and all that, and just felt like to me like I was making excuses about why I can't. So just to prove that it wasn't excuses, I actually recorded a song. It's not done.
All right.
It's not done, mind you. But I can send the beta to y'all if you were so inclined to listen to it and give me feedback. Some of this, in fact, most of it.
You don't want my feedback.
I mean, the lyrics don't exist yet, so it's just here's guitar parts. Also, I threw some drums on for not a temporary thing, so it's not just guitar sounds.
Cool.
Like I wrote the most basic as drum part that I could for the verse, and the chorus doesn't really need drums, so I was good there. And then past the point that you can just feel that I got burnt out on writing drums. And I just went, okay, so drums are in this part because drums need to be in this part, and then the costs just drum off, or the other way around, drums just cut off.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't be arsed. But like, you know, keep in mind, like I spent, I recorded this song already twice already, with different writings, because I recorded it once as a proof of concept. Then I re-rolled it a bit, so it was a slight bit better. That's the version that I have recorded right now. I've already decided on changing things, seeing where that goes, and then maybe I'll keep those. I don't know. We'll see. But the thing is, for example, the song cuts off fairly abruptly. Writing wise anyway. I actually I had enough in me to actually try to make some sort of an ending to it, but you can feel that there's things missing, and the changes nearing the end are getting very, very abrupt, and that's because the headphone amplifier runs on batteries, and I've apparently already eaten them. So because the headphone amplifier was made for practice. It was made so you can practice for like an hour and then be done with it, instead of doing like 6-hour studio sessions like I was. But yeah, like it, it's also one of those things. Like, I don't know how to play the guitar. Still, that is something that I keep up, because you give me the guitar, I can tell you what I'm doing. Sometimes it just sounds nice. Like technically I have an inkling of what I'm doing, just a small idea. But otherwise, like, it's really a lot of trial and error, which that's how it will be if I don't actually learn how to do stuff properly, which I probably will after this. But I wanted to make a song before I actually learned how to play the guitar, just so I can look at it and go, yes, this part was good, that part was bad, obviously.
Yeah.
And yeah, I showed it to my parents. They were very proud. My mom didn't believe me that I was playing on the actual hard part, because okay, the song came out a lot harder than anyone anticipated, is the thing. Like, I have the amplifier I got, it was a lead amplifier. What that means is that it mostly sounds like 80s guitar. It has a small bit of distortion. It's mostly just overdrive, which I don't know if any of those words make any sense to y'all, but it's a very...
I can have ideas, though.
Yeah. It's a very clean, high sound. Like, it's not distorted per se. There is a bit of distortion, but it's not it's not chugging. So anyway, I figured out a way to make it chug.
Yeah.
More or less. I mean, it's not completely like I still played it in E, which I think is the standard. It's I played in standard tuning instead of putting it into drop D or whatever the fuck. I don't know. There's things that people say. I know what they mean by that. Like, I know what drop D does. I don't actually know how you reach drop D. I can probably look it up, but I'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah. What was I gonna say? So yeah, with the standard tuning and the amplifier not actually being made for distortion stuff, it turned out a lot more metalish than modern metalish than what any of us expected. And also, like, once again, this is legitimately the first time I'm holding a guitar and actually trying to do something that sounds good with it. So
yeah.
I also tried shredding at least once. That's also in the song.
Yeah.
Because it felt appropriate with the rest of the song. There's also like the song also has a title already. It has some words, as in like I have the general idea of the stuff that I want to relay with it. I have the chorus, which is mostly a word, so that's cool. But no, it's actually a sentence technically. I guess it's 2 words. But what happened with the whole thing was in the first day that I got the amplifier, which means that the first day I actually got a guitar in my hands properly. I played two notes next to each other, and I went, that sounds nice. And then I proceeded to write a riff. Like, not, I want to say accidentally, and but not completely. Like, technically, I was putting the sounds in on purpose. Like, I knew what I was doing. I just don't know how I knew what I was doing, if that makes sense.
Like you were possessed by a ghost or a
Yeah.
demon.
Like, you know, it's a thing of, like, if you ask me why I'd say, or not, well, how should I say this? How should I say this? If you asked me why I put those notes next to each other, I would say, or how I found those notes, I would say, I don't know, they just sound good to me. But otherwise, like, you know, technically I knew, hey, if I do it like this, if I step up or go up a step, which technically a fret, but whatever, if I go up a step, then I think that would be a good progression for this. Like, the theory, I had the theory down. It's just, you know, I can tell you if what I'm plucking is a C or not. Pretty much.
Right.
But yeah, there's, like I said, there's still a lot of problems with the recording I have. A lot of the switches aren't great in my opinion. There's parts where I go out of rhythm, which I also have to note. Apparently, according to the, I recorded this with FL Studio because FL Studio has, you know, FL Studio is made to make music, so maybe actually use it to make music. All right, FL Studio has a built-in tapper that you tap down and it tells you what BPM it is. I tapped down the verse, and it told me that it's 300 BPM. Most songs, most pop songs, which I generally go after pop-ish, you know, timing and stuff like that, because I don't know, you know, it's more mass appeal. People don't really listen to Dragon Force unless they're really into power metal. I don't know, really into power metal isn't a good way to put it, but you know, if someone has a taste for power metal, then they will probably start with Dragon Force, whatever. So yeah, yeah, most music tends to be somewhere around like 130, 150 BPM. This song apparently 300. And I doubt that. I don't think that's correct. When I check the actual, like, where the rhythm is supposed to be with the verse, it actually checks out. So what I think it is that the verse and the chorus change BPM, which is scary because that's supposed, like, well, okay, if the verse and the chorus change BPM, that's supposed to be a scary thing because, you know, that's an advanced thing that people do. But I mean, fuck it. If I can pull it off, then I don't care. I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with doing the guitar stuff. I want to get around to actually, like, I wish I was at the point where I could be recording the lyrics for it, because I'll leave that for the last, because, you know, like, I should probably have the actual instrumentation down before I try to write and perform lyrics for it. The problem there is that the way I envision the song and the way that I think goes with what I actually got out of the guitar is growl heavy. I still don't know how to growl, mind you. But the closest I ever get to doing a metal growl is doing the Akuma impression, but I can't do that while also trying to be melodical with it. Like, I can't really do the sort of, you know, do it on beat, sing it sort of growling. I can try to do the Akuma voice, like, maybe for a sentence before it starts hurting, so that's bad. We don't want to do that.
It does sound bad, yes.
So I'll have to figure out if what I want to do with it. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that the song might end up being metalcore. So song might end up just being normal punk. I don't know. Like, that's the thing. I wish I knew what genre this fit under. I think nu metal, but I can't actually know for sure. And that's great.
Yeah.
And
So, Pink, have you yet come up with anything to say here, or are we just both bad music, people.
I am very bad at music and people.
Oh boy.
I mean, you say that, but like most people listening to music don't pay attention to the stuff. Like, you know, most people don't listen to music going like, hey, I want to be a music critic.
Anything. I just hear something and I'm like, this sounds nice. It goes in my playlist.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not, of the impression that I'm the only person in the world who's bad at music. I mean, Kiss is right there, but
And they even made a career. So
yeah.
But yeah, like, the reason I say it is just because, generally people won't have an ear for, or generally people won't go that deep into the criticisms of being like, on this bar, this one note was out of sync. I demand a refund. I want my 3 minutes back.
I want my ears back.
Yeah. But yeah, like feedback from anyone is good. Pretty much is my point. Like, especially at this stage, because like the song is not done, I can rewrite it. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's easier to.
I doubt any of us are going to give stiff enough feedback though. That it's like burn it all, start over.
We'll see. But probably not. Either which way, yeah. I've also made stuff for it if it actually ever gets released properly. Like if this song gets finished and I like the finished product enough to actually release it to the public, I've made a single cover because fuck it. It looks bad. Let me fetch it. I don't remember where I put it. Oh. There you go. I literally made this in 20 minutes. It's probably gonna get remade, but hey.
I need to change back over to Discord to see it. Where is it at?
In a general voice text.
I found it.
Yeah.
I see.
But yeah, I'll use the shitty band name that I came up with to release it under, just because, like, you know how that I recently read that Dave Grohl regrets naming the Foo Fighters because if he knew that they'd actually break out, he would have named them something better.
Yeah.
And like this name feels like that to me. But like it's just stinky enough that if I never make it anywhere, then it doesn't matter. And if I do, it's gonna be funny. Like I'm playing a prank on myself in like 20 years if I even make it. You know. But
Foo Fighters, that's a very distinctive, name.
Yeah. I mean, apparently it's like an old Cold War term for aliens or whatever, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Which recontextualizes Foo Fighters in JoJo a bit, to me. But yeah. I also like this logo I had in mind for a while, but I never made it. And then I made it. It made the first version of it. And I went, that kind of looks like a Keyblade. So I just went all in on the Keyblade design.
Oh,
you can't unsee it now. But yeah, what I'm really looking forward to with playing guitar and stuff like that is that I have a song that I wrote a while back. It's not technically finished. I wrote the lyrics to it anyway, and I have the melody, as usual. But yeah, it's more of a swingy thing. And I want to get to the point where I can actually play that shit. Which isn't really like, it's not in the rhythm, the problem. The problem is that I know what the sounds are in my head, but I'm gonna have to actually find them on the guitar, and that's gonna take a while.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But yeah. I think that's it. I think that's all I've done. Because a lot of, like I said, 2 days were lost to just recording the song. So
Was that a loss, really?
no. But yeah, W, your week.
My week? Well, let me just go ahead and there we go. I was checking out a Total War mod just to have something for my eyeballs to look at, and it was glitching the fuck out, so I hit Alt F4. Okay. For my week, what did I do? I wrapped up Destroy All Humans, the Destroy All Humans remake. That game, it was interesting. I was talking a little bit about it with Soon yesterday. That game is interesting as a difference, like a showcase of how different open world gameplay design has got in the last, we're coming up on 20 years now, actually. That game is 2 years away from being 20 years old. That's crazy. So, Destroy All Humans is a game where a lot of the gimmick is you get toys, things that destroy humans. And they do funny things also when they destroy humans. And they can destroy lots of humans and cool things. And while these provide gameplay benefits for making the campaign missions easier to beat, they are also, in large part, there so you can play around with them in free play and just bully the shit out of humanity and do horrible things to them. And a lot of the game's really encouragement for progression is to get all your toys. The main campaign is not really that much a priority. There aren't that many good cutscenes. There's, some places where some budget was obviously cut. There are some missions that are very clearly just padding. Where you will have just gone from a cutscene heavy mission that pushes the plot forward to a mission that is like no cutscenes. It is just you get dispensed on the floor and one of the other characters just has voiceover that says, Go destroy the Tesla coils. I don't know. And you go and do that, and then he just says, good job, and the mission ends. And that's the second to last mission in the game, by the way.
Nice.
And on top of that, you can tell the differences in priority there of just how much games back in the day would be built around, here is a mission with a time limit.
Yeah, remember those?
And we had the playtesters put in, and we figured out the absolute minimum amount of time you can do this mission in. We've set it to maybe 2 seconds longer than that. And it's just crazy to go back and see that, like, how popular time limits used to be in setting up missions in games, and how they built it pretty well so you had to speedrun it. And I've mentioned this earlier, it's not so bad. In the remake, they made it where all escort missions, the escort is invincible. Which means, for all intents and purposes, it isn't an escort mission. It's just a normal mission where you happen to see an NPC running alongside you.
Yeah,
right.
It's a walk and talk.
Yeah. It's not even a walk and talk, because they don't talk. It's just a walk.
Yeah.
But
It's a walk and walk.
Yeah. They can really tell, though, like, oh boy, yeah, the longer this game goes on, the more this would have been nightmarish as it went on. It was just like, whatever you're doing too well, here's an escort mission that we know is fucked. And it's just crazy how much back then they would have these missions where nothing really happens, but we're just going to throw something really difficult at you that's not particularly fun or rewarding to play, and oftentimes feels very luck-based, because we're just trying to pad this out. We didn't get that much in the cutscene budget. The story isn't really that interesting. But we just want to keep some more toys locked away from you for a little bit longer so you don't return this to Blockbuster within 7 days.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Or if you're going to, can you at least rent it twice, please? I remember talking about this. I think I was talking about this with Addy. I don't think you were here for it, Pink. But I could be wrong, because this also sounds like something I would have talked about on Show Your Mouth Lounge. It's like when I'm trying the NES Zeldas. And just seeing, oh, for people to bitch about monetization stuff with DLC, there was monetization gimmicks in the NES days too, but the monetization wasn't DLC. Do you know what it was, Pink?
Remember you talking about this, the strategy guides.
Yep. Gotta get the power. Nintendo power.
Yep.
What am I supposed to do with this egg? I have a massive game world ahead of me, and there's no way of knowing. Oh, Nintendo Power says, once you have the egg, go and stand next to the wall for 10 seconds uninterrupted. Don't touch any of the controls, and a tornado will pick your ass up and move you to the next fucking level. Fuck me. This enemy doesn't take any damage. Why? Oh, you need to pick up the red bread from Grandma and don't eat it. Oh.
Man, still use that for every RPG to this day.
Yeah. Oh, man. But anyways, nonetheless, Destroy All Humans is a fun game. It's a nice remake. Like I said, very strange remake design in terms of we just translated over as much directly as we can, except for the stuff that didn't work. We just buffed up and made better and now way too strong. Kind of reminds me of what people are saying about the Dead Space remake. Where it's, honestly, everything was translated as literally as possible, except that we've also gotten rid of the tram section so that now it's an open world. Like, also they upgraded the shitty weapons. I think I mentioned this to you before, Addy, but the flamethrower is really good in Dead Space 2. In Dead Space 1, it sucks ass. It is absolutely terrible. And I believe when they did the Dead Space 1 remake, they just changed the flamethrower to be the Dead Space 2 flamethrower.
Nice.
Plug it. Either which way.
Or once they get to it, will they change Dead Space 2 to be survival horror?
You know, hey now, it's balanced. It's balanced. Dead Space 3, on the other hand, there are a lot of people saying...
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you said Dead Space 2.
Oh, I wanted to say 3.
I was going to say, like, okay, I'll concede the last stretch of Dead Space 2 is too much, but I wouldn't say most of it is action. But yeah, that was people say, like, Dead Space 2, okay, we can do this one quick. Dead Space 2 is already a game with very few flaws. Just fix those last 4 levels so they aren't such a clusterfuck, you know? Dead Space 3, oh boy, that one really just keep maybe a few moments. Keep the cool thing where the co-op partner will see flash marker, PTSD, schizophrenia stuff, and Isaac won't. But other than that, dude, don't keep anything. Just make a whole new game.
Make it so at the end of Dead Space 3, it gets revealed that the marker was actually a space ghost child, and you get to choose between controlling the marker or destroying everyone that Isaac's ever loved.
Or alternatively, turn all humans into half necromorphs and all necromorphs into half humans.
Yes.
And everybody has this weird, creepy green sheen on them for some reason.
And if you do that, Isaac dies but controls the hive mind.
Oh, God. I'm so glad that Mass Effect 4 is more or less explicitly in the marketing campaign saying, okay, the Destroy ending is canon, we're also bringing back the Geth and probably Eva, too.
Yeah.
Fuck Mass Effect 3's ending.
I want Legion back.
Absolutely. I mean, dude, have you seen the posters for Mass Effect 4?
No.
Okay, you know how Star Trek, the second Star Trek movie ends with Spock dying, right?
No. But sure.
What? And then Star Trek And then Star Trek 3, the third Star Trek movie's subtitle is The Quest for Spock.
Yeah.
The Mass Effect 4 poster might as well have been labeled The Quest for Legion.
Yeah. I mean, they did so much to make Legion be a good and fun character, and then in the Mass Effect 3,
He's one of the cool. And Legion, I almost feel like I'd be fine with him dying because he, unlike the rest of the Geth, he didn't have a bullshit death. He went out in a really cool, tragic way.
I mean, not really.
Without Legion's death, you don't get, does this unit have a soul?
Legion doesn't die there. Does he? I don't remember. You might be right.
I'm pretty sure he asks Tally that right before he sacrifices himself.
No, I think Legion, unless I'm misremembering, which I might be, but unless I'm misremembering, Legion was alive at the end of the game for me. Like,
no, he definitely was not. Legion is one of the only party members that is not possible to save.
Okay, then never mind.
Like, it's him and Thane, I think, are the only two that legitimately will be dead at the end of every playthrough. It doesn't matter. Which, I mean, Thane, you know Thane ain't gonna make it. The moment you talk to him in Mass Effect 2 and he's like, hey, yeah, I'm dying.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh. Well, there's not much I can do to help you, pal, unless Shepard changes professions to fucking medical researcher.
Yeah. Mass Effect 4 brings Thane back as a Force Ghost.
Oh, God. Hey, they could bring back Thane's kid if... Did Quentin help me here? Quentin Flynn. There we go. Were those accusations against Quentin Flynn? Was that the one where the accusations turned out to be like wildly off base?
Maybe. I think so. I don't remember.
Okay. Well, if the accusations against Quentin were true, fuck him. I hope he doesn't come back. However, if the accusations against Quentin were false, I'd love for Mass Effect 4 to have Thane's kid as a party member.
I mean,
he can tell Shepard about how he successfully avoided drowning.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about Thane's kid is that Thane's entire story in 3 or 2, I forget which one, but Thane's entire mission story is just, I don't want my child to do the same thing I'm doing. Also, I'm dying.
Okay, but he doesn't have to come back as an assassin. What if Thane's kid shows up and he's like Space Explorer Hero Man?
Yeah.
I found 5 planets. I named each of them after my dad.
Yeah.
After this mission, Shepard, we need to visit Thane 1 and Thane 2. The other 3 planets are not so great, but Thane 1 and Thane 2 rock.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. So does Mass Effect 4 start with someone saying, hey, did you hear about that shit in the Andromeda Galaxy? And then Shepard says, don't care.
In the background, someone leaves the store. It says, I'm Commander Shepard. This is my favorite store.
Shepard, in the meantime, between Mass Effect 3 and 4, has went and got himself a discount at every store in fucking Citadel space.
Yeah.
And most of them don't even make sense. Like, it's a Hanar religious store. And you just go in, I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store in Citadel space.
Yeah.
They've just got posters of Javik on the walls in there. I hope Javik isn't a party member in Mass Effect 4. You just every now and then get emails of him, like, sipping mojitos, surrounded by Hanar, fanning him with big leaves.
Every now and then there's a news reading about Javik throwing someone out of an airlock.
Even though he's on the Hanar home planet, he just had a really good arm.
Yeah.
Either which way. All right. What else was there? FGA is this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, we got to do that on Monday. Okay. I will hold back on a little bit of the stuff that I did this week then. let's see. And the remainder of what I have done this week is put a little bit of time into 2K23, holding
2K3.
off on it.
Here comes the pain.
2K3. Oh, would 2K3 have been Here Comes the Pain?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I guess 2K4 would have been the original SVR. So, yeah, 2K3 would have been Here Comes the Pain.
Yeah.
So, either which way, 2K23, I'm holding off on Universe until they fix the moveset fuck-up bug.
There's a lot in Universe that you really need to fix.
Well, it's funny because we're now in a position where it's like, but GM mode is cool. Well, shit, I want to hold off on GM mode until we get all three of us in one place.
Right.
Also, how much of a CAW roster should I set up for GM mode? Because I've got a little bit of one cooking right now.
That is an excellent question. We would probably have to talk a bit more in depth about that once we are in the process of starting the universe mode.
Yeah.
Also, can I just say this? Some asshole uploaded an amazing Masahiro Chono, but I can't get it because he uses the prototype's trunks. Underneath Chono's pants.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's like one of the best looking CAWs I've ever seen. But he needs the prototype shorts. Why?
Should have bought the prototype.
For what reason?
It's like he deliberately DLC locked it just to fuck with people.
Right?
Yeah. That's about the extent of it with 2K23. Oh, right. I did not finish the Men's My Rise, despite what Ted asked. I got Ezekiel, and I went, all right, fuck this. And closed it.
That's the true ending.
You beat Cena, and no, you don't beat Cena. You beat Elias and Ezekiel in a handicap match, and you're like, all right, I'm done. Shout out to the build a stable mechanic that pops up at the very end. It's stupid, but I love the stupidity of you have successfully recruited Seth Rollins, Bill Goldberg, Bobby Lashley, John Cena, AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar, and Roman fucking Reigns onto one stable. Step aside, NWO. And then you're Goober, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Which naturally I made a morbidly obese man with blue skin, a pinhead, and a mustache and beard that made him look like a squid. Oh, boy. Yeah, right. And let's see. The last thing of note that I did this week that I can recall is I watched SmackDown last night. So we start with Cody versus Ludwig. And boy, Cody and Ludwig did not really have their working boots on that night. And I don't mean that in terms of like they were out of sync. They're more or less in sync. It was just, we are going to do a lot of loose moves. We are going to do a lot of obvious misses. We are taking it easy on each other before WrestleMania, because who wants to get hurt before WrestleMania, right?
Right.
Afterwards, Paul and Solo come out, and Paul says, you know, Cody, you something or other, I don't know, fight Solo on Raw next week.
That's the exact promo.
Yeah. Which, like, okay, Cody's not had many TV matches since his return to the company a year ago because of the injury. So it's like, okay, get Cody as many matches on TV as possible to hype him up and let the fans see what he can do. I personally think Cody would be a little bit more magic if they didn't show him. But whatever, I guess this is the way they're doing it.
Yeah.
But, like, what is the booking logic? What is the in kayfabe logic of, I don't know, just fight Solo, asshole?
Right. Before you face Roman at WrestleMania, the contract clearly stipulates that you must surpass Solo. If you fail to defeat Solo, your match is canceled. That's just how we roll.
Well, no, if you lose to Solo, you still get the match against Roman, especially because the Usos are probably going to come out and Pearl Harbor you near the end of the match. But well, it's 100% just having a match for the sake of having a match.
I mean, it being Solo, you could at least headcanon it into being like Roman is trying to test Cody, and like Solo is the only one he can still trust.
Well, yeah. Though even then, like last Raw ended with Roman bitching Solo out and screaming and shouting at him as they walked back up the entrance ramp. So Roman at this point is like full bore. Macbeth is going down. Oh no, it's a man not born of woman. How did this happen? Man, the other day I saw a cursed meme.
What?
It was that like gif of Willem Dafoe freaking out in that Lighthouse movie, I believe. But it was labeled Macbeth when he sees an impreg baby.
Ah, boy.
Anyways, yeah, that was kind of just a nothing. We had Charlotte go out to cut a promo. And so Charlotte's supposed to be the babyface and Rhea's supposed to be the heel here, right?
So
Charlotte goes out and she starts to cut a promo about like, Rhea, I respected Sasha Banks. I respected Bayley. I respected Trish Stratus. And the crowd's just, what? Even though the crowd was cheering her going out there. Which, like, guys, this promo shit ain't working. Figure out something else to hype up this match, because this, like, I am wrestler woman, I will wrestle you, wrestler woman. It's a little bit bland. But even though they cheered Charlotte out to the ring, they start whatting her. And Charlotte, honest to God, turns heel mid-promo. I don't care about the respect of you people. You always tear me down. Why are you? And Charlotte, of course, like, Charlotte can't fucking help herself. She really can't. You can tell Charlotte she needs to go out there and kiss babies. But after she hears just one person in the audience boo her, she'll kick the baby.
She'll punk kick the baby like Snitsky.
Yeah.
The baby is gone.
After turning heel mid-promo, Charlotte then proceeded to take down her rope and elbow drop it for the next 20 minutes while Rhea Ripley stood there and watched.
Okay, I was saying this actually to my family while we were watching this, of like, okay, so the thing Charlotte has is she tries to do her dad's routine of love me, hate me, I am who I am, right? And that's how Rick went from being a heel that people hated for about a decade, and then as the 90s came on, it started turning into, oh, there's that Rick, he's such an asshole, I love him. Because Rick was cartoonishly an asshole.
Yeah.
Even as a heel, Rick was, wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing, jet flying, limousine riding, so on and so such. He was over the top. Self-exposed, oh god. And as a face, Rick didn't change his behavior. He amped it up a little bit, more the cartoonish aspect. But he was still just the same cartoon narcissist he'd always been. Charlotte is not over the top. Charlotte goes out there and she sounds like what an actual athlete would be. Going out there and talking about, I'm the greatest. If you don't like that tough shit, I'm still going to keep beating your favorites.
Yeah.
And that is not the kind of heel gimmick that one day turns face just on its own, where the fans are like, yeah! But if Charlotte did one day go crazy like her dad and rip her coat off and start stomping it and elbow dropping it and knee dropping it, that shit would be over in seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if they, wheel out, let's say Kayla Braxton there like they wheeled out Mean Gene. And just like Mean Gene, Kayla Braxton is just stuck there watching with a mixture of, like, confusion and horror as this occurs right in front of her.
Yeah, they give Charlotte her crazy woo man gimmick.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Introduce the woos into her gimmick that way.
Yeah. I mean, she woos every now and then, but she doesn't do it so much because she wants to get heat. Because for whatever reason, the woman wants to be a heel, even if they tell her to go be a fucking face. Ugh.
There seems to be a real problem with these second and third generation stars. I don't remember which generation. Well, they're both second. Second generation stars wanting to be their fathers more than anything, when they should probably be the opposite.
Oh God. Well, Charlotte also Charlotte trailed off rapidly into just heel stream of consciousness. Like she started going, "Yeah, I'm the product of nepotism. I love it. I love my dad." And it's just, where are we going, Charlotte? Hello. And every time Charlotte says, "I love my dad," there's a little bit of a tweak there where you start to wonder, Charlotte, do you love your dad? Like, when I see Cody or Goldust out there, it's like firm 100%. Oh, these guys are both daddy's boys. 100%. Charlotte, there's a little bit of a tinge there of like, was Rick even there, Charlotte? Let's be real. Or was he busy out with his 7th wife?
Right.
Oh, wait. Hang on, it's 12 o'clock. Number 8. Oh, Jesus. On to the next segment we got. It's Ray versus LA Knight. And I was like, oh God, they're going to job LA Knight out to Rey Mysterio. But, Dominic comes out for a little bit of a distraction. LA Knight gets the roll up. Better than him losing, but I'd still prefer they at least hit the BFT, you know?
Yeah.
The human job machine. But I win.
Oh God. So, Ray's wife and daughter, Angie and Aaliyah, were there at ringside as well. So, Dominic again goes, "Ray, fight me!" Ray walks away, and Andy runs away again. Dominic gets out of the ring, gets in his mom and daughter's face, which must have been so awkward for the people sitting next to them in the audience. And he goes, "Mom, you just stood there and watched him be a deadbeat to me all those years. So you're a deadbeat too." And Aaliyah stands up and gets in Dominic's face like, "Hey, you don't talk to our mom like that." And Dominic starts legitimately screaming at Aaliyah, "You don't know, you're just like an idiot or like a dumbass." Or I don't remember exactly what he said. He didn't say like. That would be funny if Dominic was just sputtering like that. But no, Dominic is actually a better heel promo than that. You don't know, you don't understand this, that, and another. He starts just screaming at his mom and sister. And I was thinking, it's a different thing cutting a promo with your dad, who you've been practicing with for a couple of years now. And you've seen him play a character on TV so many times. And everybody knows it's a character for you. But man, it must be so different having to play that character screaming your lungs out at your mom and your sister, you know?
Right, yeah.
But credit where credit is due, Dom took to it with aplomb. Dom, okay, the happy solution to the Dom Ray storyline is for Dom to turn face after the match and we get them to hug or something. They can't do that, though. Dom cannot work face, keep this man heel for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
Like, eventually, I had the realization a while back that eventually Dom might just become the new Rey Mysterio. And they could work that into an angle too. Have Ray and have him adopt the gimmick, but still be a heel. Have no one accept him, and then have Ray actually try to get someone to beat the shit out of him so he'll stop sullying the name.
I mean, at that point, it would turn into a feud between Dom and Santos.
Yeah.
Of who has the legacy of Mysterio.
Yeah. I'm not saying actually make the person that Ray is with the new Rey Mysterio is just, I think they could make an angle out of it.
That needs to end in a ladder match for the custody or fathership of Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
And Dominic nearly wins, but Ray comes in and pushes the ladder over. Or he turns heel too and pushes Santos over.
There is no way Ray is ever getting turned heel ever. In WWE 12 Road to WrestleMania and nowhere else.
No, there was a time. There was a time when he was heel in 2011. Well, that's what
that one was built in that Road to WrestleMania, though. It was amnesia based, so it doesn't count.
Right.
WWE 12 though was like a legit heel turn, though. Even then, it was kind of a sympathetic one because it was just that he was choosing his old friends in WCW over the WWE.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Dom is screaming in his mom and sister's face, Ray just comes up and stiff forearms him in the chin, and the place just comes unglued. You know, I'm sure in some parts of the crowd you could see popcorn flying through the air.
Yeah, they love domestic violence.
Yeah, exactly. And Ray picks up the mic and says, "You made me do this." And I'm not gonna lie, my skin crawled a little bit. Like, oh boy, that was a little too real.
Yeah.
That's a little bit too actual domestic abusey for me, sir. Let's hold back on that comment, Ray. Don't say that one again. Don't repeat that. He says you don't.
At WrestleMania, Ray is beating Dom over the head with a chair. Unprotected chair shots. He's yelling, "This hurts me more than it hurts you."
What if Ray comes to the ring at WrestleMania 39 with jumper cables?
Oh no! Oh.
Dom just ends every promo for the next few years with, "And then my dad beat me with jumper cables."
Yeah.
Regardless of how relevant it is.
Yeah, it's his version of the furthermore we must level cartridge.
All right, and Ray gets on the mic and says, "You don't call your mother that. That's my wife. You don't call my wife that. You don't call your sister that. You want a match at WrestleMania? We're on." And the crowd, it's just, my God, it was a Sami Zayn pop. And it's just crazy because it's like, hang on, both these guys suck. This angle is hot.
Right?
Like, it's just, I feel like,
for you.
I know people are going to just make shit up and say, Ray is so talented, what a legend. But for anyone who actually has some sense here, you have to look on this and not think, wow, Ray and Dominic, what talents. You have to look on this and think, okay, a good angle can make anyone over. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe wrestling is about the storylines and not about the match ratings.
Yeah.
It's absurd. That can't be.
But I mean, Ray used to be really talented. I saw a match of his from WCW, and that was really good. It's just, you know,
oh yeah, absolutely.
It's been like 25 years.
Ray in like early AAA, ECW, WCW was one of the best in the world. Ray now, steroids and years of falling on his feet have destroyed his knees. And he just doesn't give a shit anymore. Like, putting him in a feud against his own son, half the time his promos don't have that much energy in them. Like, credit where credit is due, Ray did light a fire under his ass for that promo last night. But, I mean, how could you say those words without sounding angry, right?
Yeah. You made me do it.
Yeah.
I did not hit Dom. I did not.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, yeah.
They had a segment then. It was, let's see. Well, at some point they had an odd segment of Street Profits backstage on WrestleMania. It's going to be hype. We're going to be doing a cool tag match. And then Braun and Ricochet appear. And Braun says, you guys say we're balding. You're both getting pretty thin up there. And I'm just thinking, okay, first of all, this is a face tag team versus a face tag team. Also, is the build to this just that that everybody mocks Ricochet and Braun for being bald? Also, are we now going with this? Ricochet and Braun are no longer the odd couple. They are now Team Baldo. Because I'm fine with that.
They need to adopt the bottle bomb as a finish then.
Oh God, that I wouldn't want. But if A-Train came out and managed them for a couple matches, oh boy.
Yeah. But I was hoping that they sent out the Street Profits to do that promo of WrestleMania. He's gonna be hype, and they're not even booked.
I mean, Miz technically is going to be paid to do that. He's not booked for any matches, but he will be the host.
Nice.
Which I think is a bit of a waste of Miz, but to be fair, the roster's a bit overcrowded right now.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
What do you not like?
Like it's crazy. It's crazy looking at NXT. And it's like, oh, there's some hot talent on NXT. I can't wait to see on the main roster, but not yet.
Yep.
Yeah, we need to call the Top Dollar and Wyatt. And I don't know who else yet.
Well, I was thinking yesterday was CM Punk reigniting the damn Elite drama again. I was thinking like, oh boy, AEW, you got some problem childs. How about we trade you? We get Punk, FTR, and Danhausen. You guys get Wyatt and Hit Row.
Yeah.
Fair trade, right?
Yeah. I mean, Punk didn't even reignite the thing. It was Meltzer.
Well, yeah, that's the thing I love about all of it, right? Meltzer fucking restarts the Punk Elite argument because he had to prove some asshole on a forum wrong.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice to know one of the most influential people in the wrestling industry, sadly, is also a person who is on such a hair trigger that any of us could make an account on his forum right now and start shit in the wrestling industry by just pissing off Meltzer.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Speaking of Punk, though, I did like that he commented on the video of Ray hitting Dom.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that for 13 years.
Yeah.
Like you know what?
You should shave his head too, Ray.
Yeah. Like, you know what? Punk's an asshole. But fuck it. If he's gonna be a funny asshole, I'll take him over Jericho.
Easily. My God. Like,
because Jericho right now he's just being an asshole. He's not even a fun one.
Well, it's the choice between someone who's gonna front stab you and backstab you, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna choose the front stabber. Come on. Jericho's easier to manipulate, though. I don't know if you can just praise Punk to his face and he'll be your friend. Jericho, all you gotta tell him is, man, you're the greatest of all time. You beat Rock and Austin the same night. And Jericho's like, you're my best friend. Here's the ticket to my cruise. Can I rip off your gimmick? Oh, God.
You're in the Jericho Association now.
Yeah.
Whatever. Jericho Appreciation Society.
No! Do not put me in the same stable as Sammy Guevara. I will commit seppuku first. I must preserve my honor. Oh, God. It's crazy every time I see people like, well, hey, New Japan and AEW, they got crossover potential there. What if they bring over Mercedes Moné? And every time I'm just like, can we keep her as far away from the AEW locker room as possible, please? I don't even hate her like everybody else in this group does. But, like, sweet Jesus, I don't want that interaction to ever occur, please. Like, I'm not even saying Sammy would do anything, but my God, how awkward would it be?
Yeah.
Truly.
Anyways. Yeah, the next segment was Natty and Shotzi versus Xia Li and Lacey Evans. And I was just thinking, okay, Xia didn't...
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I saw this team this morning when I looked on Twitter to see who all was going to WrestleMania, boyo. And when I saw the team of Shotzi and Natty, at first I was confused, and then I came up with a $1 billion idea, but then I felt like it would be too similar to the Elias situation, because I thought it'd be the funniest thing if we started playing Shotzi Blackheart off as like a long-lost Hart family member.
You remember when Brett cheated on his wife? Yeah, it made Shotzi.
Yeah.
Run the fucking Kurt Angle, Jason Jordan storyline again, but with Brett and Shotzi.
Right?
Even though, like, the Kurt Angle, Jason Jordan storyline was run because they had similar ring skills. But Brett and Shotzi couldn't be any further apart in ring skills.
But that's the thing. That's why she's a
It's
bastard.
funny though because we've got the Hearts, we've got the Night Hearts, and now we've got the Black Hearts.
Yeah.
Hang on, the Hearts already had a black heart, though. Owen was the black heart. Yeah.
Maybe Shotzi is Owen's long-lost child.
Okay, now you're going too far, motherfucker.
I'm disrespecting the name.
Yeah, that's...
Disrespecting the legacy.
Alright. Anyways, onwards.
Oh, I had an idea with this angle. You see, we explain away Shotzi's ring capability.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
We explain away Shotzi's the ring capability by saying that Brett had made Shotzi after he had to retire.
It was shitty concussed Brett.
Yeah.
It affected his sperm. It also calls into question how old is Shotzi supposed to be? Which, to be fair, the Kurt Angle, Jason Jordan thing also called into question how old is Jason Jordan supposed to be?
Right? He would have been like 19 at the time if it...
I was about to say, wasn't it... Hang on, was it just a meme or was it genuinely implied that Charmel was supposed to be Jason Jordan's mom?
I think that was a meme, but
Okay, because I was about to say, if that was the case, Jason Jordan would have been like 10.
Right. And I want to say the canonical thing was that Angle had his secret baby after the Olympics in 1996, which would have made him... Oh, what year did that Angle run?
That would have been like 2017 or 2018, so that would have only made him like 21 or 22.
Right.
Not even accounting for 9 months of pregnancy.
Right.
Look, he was really premature, man. Oh, boy. So, yeah, Shotzi and Natty versus Xia Li and Lacey. And it was a great thing, because Xia didn't even get an entrance. And Lacey, it's like, okay, Miss Anti-Vax also accidentally did heel shit on a kid with Down syndrome. Your team is not winning tonight, girls. Lacey, at this point, they might as well just send her on to AEW. Because AEW doesn't have the good sense to try and figure out something to do with her. They'll just push her on ironically, and she'll go on Twitter about her and Jericho will be the best of buds, come to think of it.
Or says Stevens is all elite.
Oh. Yeah, it was just kind of a nothing match. I honestly wasn't looking at the screen for half of it. And then Ronda and Shayna came out afterwards, and Ronda was like, haha, I'm not injured, you fucking marks. I played you all, you fools. We're in the WrestleMania match. We didn't even have to win a qualification match. We just went to Adam Pearce and said, put us in the match, bitch, and he did.
This is a tragedy.
And I thought it was funny. They had Shayna do most of the talking. Which it's like, okay, Ronda, how bad are your promos? They have Shayna do all the talking. And I love Shayna, but Shayna, you listen to her. Okay, I have to ask this. Pink, so you would have went in with a different early perception of Shayna than I did. When you first saw Shayna, did you think she was a dork? A lovable dork?
No.
Because I have seen Shayna talk at length about Warhammer. I think that has influenced me, and now when I see Shayna, I see tremendous lovable dork. Because I was wondering that last night, because, like, I don't know if it's partly her voice, because she does also have a little bit of a dorky voice.
Yeah.
Or if it's because I've seen her, like, spend 10 minutes straight just talking about the Horus Heresy. But I was like, oh, she's a dork. Of course, there's also a difference of booking, though. Back in your day, Shayna was booked as a killer. Now she's booked as Ronda's minion.
Right.
either which way, yeah, gonna be going to that four-way tag match. And oh God, please let it not be the kind of tag match where they have to tag out to enemy team members.
Imagine they'd be doing that at WrestleMania, but I could be wrong.
I hate that fucking match. Anyways, we got 2 more segments left. It's Gunther, Drew, and Sheamus all go out to sign the papers for the triple threat match. Sheamus comes out with his goons, but Gunther doesn't. So we just didn't see Fabian tonight. Or excuse me, Giovanni Vinci. There we go. So Gunther comes out there, the Brutes are out there, Drew are out there. Sheamus and Drew kind of do their usual routine. Sheamus says, "You're a backstabbing liar," and Drew says, "You're a bitch, Sheamus. When did you start being such a bitch? Oh, you're such a bitch." And it's like, Drew, promo classic over here. But Gunther gets on the mic. He says, "This isn't fair. Why am I being put in a match where I can lose my belt without even getting pinned or submitted?" He gets in Pierce's face telling him that. Then he starts getting to the center of the ring, and he's on the opposite side of the table from everybody else. And he's cutting this promo. And then he just stops. And his head turns to Butch. And he just goes, "What are you looking at? What are you looking?" Oh! Just Butch, midway through Gunther talking, after Gunther says, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? Butch jumps straight over the table with a forearm smash directly to Gunther's face.
I saw a gif of that, this morning.
And
it was
it's hilarious with audio, because you honestly hear Gunther go, "What are you looking at?" Oh! Like, it was honestly almost, like, it felt Tarantino-esque. Character gets cut off mid, like, character just gets eat shit mid-dialogue. It just reminds me of, oh man, I shot Marvin in the face. Why the fuck did you do that? Oh boy. At some point, I am going to need to figure out some gimmick to get you guys to watch more movies. Anyways, so that starts an impromptu match between Gunther and Butch. It's like, oh boy, I bet, these guys are definitely going to have some difficulties working together.
They've never had a match before, ever.
Nope.
I assure you.
No, they're not even bothering with pretense on that one. Cole just directly saying, "These two have quite the history from NXT." And it's like, okay, what was Butch's name then? And, shock of shocks, they worked a solid match. And then, Butch got distracted, I think, by Drew and Sheamus fucking with each other at ringside. Gunther hits the powerbomb on him. All right, wrap it up. We're done here. And for the final segment of the show, KO and Sammy come out to do the KO show. Kevin comes out first wearing a hoodie, zipped up, kind of odd. Sammy comes out second, and still a monster pop for him. Kev says, "Oh, well, Sammy, we came out separately so you could still have your music play and hear all the cheers." And Sammy goes, "Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I don't want to take all the attention away from you." And all that. They get a big love in. And then KO unveils this year's KO Mania shirt. And everybody's like, yeah, sure, okay. And he flips it, and on the other side, on the front side, it actually says WrestleZania. Which doesn't quite work, but I respect how stupid it is.
Yeah.
And he gives the shirt to Sammy, and he rips off the hoodie to reveal that he's also wearing the WrestleZania shirt. And everybody, oh yeah, and Sammy starts to go for a hug, and Kevin goes, no, you got your 1 yearly hug. Ah, fuck it. And he goes for a hug, and the Usos Pearl Harbor them. Kind of a nothing segment, but it was funny just as an excuse to get the shirt in, right?
Yeah.
So, all in all, solid SmackDown. Definitely some goofy fuckery there with Charlotte. She just can't help herself. And with that, I believe I say we should end this podcast.
All right. Bye.